There comes a time when we must accept change, no matter how great. There comes a time when we must all leave.
Hey guys, Stealth here and welcome to episode 8 of TERRA INVICTA Project Exodus. I have been away with these episodes a bit. I am sorry about that. I will try to make this a weekly series, so you can expect the next installment next week, Tuesday. For now, episode 8, I'm going to be doing some things different. I have played quite a bit of TERRA INVICTA off-screen, as I was just doing my own playthrough. Learned quite a bit, and I'm seeing the mistakes that I'm making right now. For example, I have far too little of my CP used. I'm only using 242 out of 347, and as I am going to be uniting the North American group, so that's Canada and the United States together, then that's going to save me even more control points. The issue is that I'm going to have to kick out the Protectorate here. So let's start with that. I need to make sure that I have the Protectorate out of this area.
Your orders?
The problem is, let's see, who was my espionage woman? This one. You're gonna have to purge this person out of Canada. There. Next, this war I had going on with the US, it's going to stop. It is simply not worth it at the moment, because it's really not doing me any favors, so I'm going to stop that. Majid, with his high command and admin skill, he is going to start boosting the US. So we're going to set this guy to advise. And as for the US itself, I don't feel like I need any more military than I currently have. So all this build army stuff, that ends right now. Mission control is definitely going to be a bit more interesting. The economy, definitely nice to have. But considering that at some point the aliens will invade, I am going to get ready for that. I'm going to upgrade the military a lot. As for welfare, as for unity, if I can spend some bit on this later, great. Right now, not really a priority. As for the rest, I still have 43 out of 67 control points. I'm not going to build a fleet anytime soon. Instead, I'm going to set up another orbital in low Earth orbit. This station is going to be sheerly research-based. That's the sole objective. Research, research, research. Because I want to get more bonuses. For example, energy research. Right now I only have an 8% bonus. That's not a lot. So we're going to build that out. As for power generation, let's go with a couple of solar arrays. I tend to put these on the edges. And thankfully I can build all of this stuff in space, so I don't have to spend a lot of money on it. So let's go with energy labs. We're going to go with one there, one there. Throw in a farm to reduce occupation or reduce cost on it. There, that's the energy labs. So that's 4 of them. And they each contribute 3%. So that's a 12% bonus. Plus, of course, 5 research points that I get every month. This, by the way, this number at 1.2k is monthly. It is not daily. I have seen some questions on it, and if you go to the settings of the game, you can change it from a from a daily view to a monthly view. So that's how that works. Let's make sure this station isn't entirely defenseless. Let's throw in a layered defense array. And I think that I have most of the stuff that I need. I don't need a construction module. Nanofactory could be useful. Makes money. Let's see, these things generate 42 power, so that's 164. Minus the farm. That's minus 40 there. Minus 40 there. Minus 40 there. These things each take 8, so that's another 32. We're going to have to go with another solar array. Just to be on the safe side. So, that's a new station. Earth low orbit. This is going to be energy science. Science. There we go. Now, my monthly income, 140, is really bad. So, to make sure that gets fixed, I'm going to build another station. One that is sheerly focused on getting money. So we're going to set up another one in low Earth orbit. And this one is going to be my money farm. My money printer. Again, solar panels on the edges. I think it just looks better. There, 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 and there. Now, these nano factories, initially, they take you 10, but if they're not actually building anything, then they're going to be generating cash. Also grants 2% bonus to our investments in the economy priority if the module is in an Earth interface orbit, which I currently am, because I am in low Earth orbit 2, so LEO 2 essentially. So this thing, if I have 10 or if I have 5 of these nanofactories, it's going to help quite a bit boosting the economy and just making more money overall. So let's go with 5 of these. There, that's the rest of the station setup. I also have a farm. The rest of them are mostly nanofactories. That's going to be the whole gist of it. Just get me money. That's the plan. Alright, as for the rest of the councillors, I don't really need to do anything else with them. I just need to get rid of this war. And as for further control points, if I can get the European Union out of the hands of the resistance, that'd be great. I do have some control points here in Spain. It's just, you're gonna need the main EU if you want to unify the whole thing. That makes it a bit more difficult. So I'm gonna have to have Grace run some campaigns in the EU. Just a lot of them. A few months later, I have a bit of an interesting information transmission from my double agent, Gregory Nagasa. He has found Xenoform Alpha 4. This guy is going to be potentially a target for me. Because if I'm able to take down this, I think is a Hydra. Yeah, Hydra. I should be able to complete my objective, which is to acquire an alien corpus. Detect an alien on Earth? Check. Conduct an assassination against it. Yeah, that second bit's gonna be a bit more complex. Because at the moment, well, let's just say my Aluna has a pretty high espionage stat at 18. But is it high enough? Not so likely. We're gonna have to run some investigations. And that too is where I run into a problem. Because none of my counselors has a high investigative stat. I have mostly built all of them for persuasion. This is mostly admin. Raymond is the scientist / admin. Majid, mostly admin. And Aluna, espionage. So that's a problem. So in the meanwhile, I'm mostly training up Aluna, hitting enemy objectives, alien assets. There's no shortage of those. Apparently, if I don't do it, nobody does it. So there are aliens rampaging around the world. Everywhere, pretty much. Including in Spain. This is unacceptable.
Ready for orders.
I'm quite close to completing the research for the United US, or United North America. So in 19 November, I should be able to complete that mission. It just doesn't immediately unlock the ability to merge these nations, I believe. You still need a bit of time, but I might be mistaken about that. We shall see in a few weeks. After a minor setback, we have finally completed the United North America project. This means the United States gets a claim on Vancouver, Whitehorse, Montreal, Toronto, Calgary, and Nuuk. So, with this, I can finally start focusing on further research projects, because there are quite a lot. I now have access to the Social Science Research Center, as well as some of the other higher tier research projects, such as the one, where was it? Materials Research Center. You got the General Research Center. I am going to be, ideally, a research powerhouse, to make sure that eventually we'll be able to catch up to the aliens. Now this one, Orbital Hospital, also an interesting moneymaker. It gives you 40 money per month. So if you have 5 of these in orbit, this is gonna get you 200 a month. That's pretty hefty, and it's really not that expensive. It's 1,000 points of research. Let's do that. The other one, the Research Campus, is going to give me just a flat 100 research a month, which is also really quite nice. So let's start spreading out the attention for research projects, and slowly but steadily also start intervening with the rest of the world. I am interested to see how much research income the other factions have, so let's have a look. Over here, the servants, 1.2k per month. The resistance 1.5, 1.4 for Humanity First, 1.5, 1.5, and 1 for the Protectorate. They really don't have a lot. Also, they have a pretty low amount of engineering, so their own research projects take a lot more time. When it comes to control points, you can see 321 for the Resistance, 336 for Humanity First, 340 for the Initiative. Holy crap, they've done a lot of work. The Servants have a lot of capacity, but they're not using it. 272 out of 422. Interestingly, they're a little over their amount of mission control. This means that potentially ships or habs have, let's say, an interest in changing hands, and I happen to have spare mission control. So ideally, I would get something from the Servants. I could start specifically targeting the Servants, but I don't really want to at this stage, because I am kind of concerned that by doing that I'll incur the wrath of the aliens. More so than what I currently have. Ah, good. Candidates for Federation, European Union and Canada. I'm not sure how I got a claim on the European Union. I mean, that doesn't... Well, not a claim, but how I can federate with the United... with the European Union. I don't believe I got a claim for that. But I have seen it happen that once you get United North America, you just get the Federation option with the European Union as well. Which, I suppose, has upsides and downsides. Because if you go for a massive faction, it's going to save you control points, but you won't really be able to specialize any of your nations. You could make the US a powerhouse when it comes to military, and then turn European Union into a powerhouse for the economy, or for knowledge, or... well, whatever you need at that point. Maybe mission control, that's also a really valuable one. The way that I'm currently going about it... well, let's say that you would merge these. You would just have one universal nation of sorts. One universal federation. Not necessarily ideal, so it is not what I have in mind. For now, though, I just want to start merging Canada and the US. And, well, maybe... like in a couple of years, when I finally get the opportunity to start taking parts of the European Union, then I'll also start incorporating bits of the EU, should I so desire. I had to tell all my councillors to duck and cover, because as it stood, a lot of my guys were getting detected, and that was also causing some sabotage acts, notably by the Resistance. Apparently the Resistance was not really quite happy with me being able to start merging North America, well, the US and Canada into one big North America. I don't know why. Maybe they consider that a threat. I don't really care. Anyway, there's not a whole lot to purge in the EU. I'm trying to get this point, the mass media one, because it means my public campaigns will be even more effective. The other one is not that useful, it just means that orgs in this nation cost less money. The other one, bonus to purge missions against executive in this nation. Sure, but if I want to control the executive, I'm first going to have to get at least one other control point, and probably a bunch more. But even with maximum influence at 128, I'm only getting a 9% success rate. So I don't think that this is strictly the best use of my time. If I have a look at Portugal and slide it up there, then yes, we have a lot better chance. Sadly, oh, actually this one's open. Let's see if we can grab that, because that would give me 2 control points in a pretty powerful United Kingdom, which seems to be putting a lot into its military, because it's already at 5.5, which is actually higher than the US, is it not? Yeah, I'm on 5.2 with the US, so look at that. That's a massive difference. As for Valerie, do I need to defend anything? Slovakia or Guatemala? No, not really. So I could have her boost, or I could have her investigate something. I'm not really sure what to tell her to do. Crackdown is something she's really not that good at. Augmenting her with more investigative stats should be useful. And I'm considering taking this media darling trait off of her because it means she gets -4 to espionage. She is really quite bad at operating stealthily. Well, I cannot take that off of her. Okay, fine. You're gonna get more investigative stat. I do need somebody to start building up that stat so I can actually start making use of it. Because right now, crackdowns are just flat out impossible for me. Yeah. I'm not really sure what to do with her, so let's just have her advise the rest of the place. More advisors in the United States, always a good thing. Alright, let's start merging these two beautiful countries into one big country. One big federation. This is going to save me some control points. I'm currently on 255. Let's see what happens when the group starts uniting. In the meanwhile, I have also been building some stuff around Mercury. And especially with the new research locations, the research campuses, I should be able to get a lot of research out of them. As well as potential mission control. Here we go. Federate with Canada. Yes, Canada agrees. And with that, we're now at 258. Oh, sorry. Right. My bad. We're now in a federation. But in order to start joining, I'm going to have to wait until February 5th, 2035. So another year. It's going to take me a while. In that time, I should be able to start taking more and more control points, like the one in the UK. And make sure that slowly but steadily I get a bit more military under my control. Because I am concerned that the aliens are going to invade fairly soon, seeing as it's 2034. As for my attempt to leave Earth, well, it's going to take me a while. I first need to tech up, I then need to shoot down an alien ship, and I still need to get a corpse. So this is going to take a bit of work. With this research project about research campuses complete, I should now be able to start kickstarting my research into high gear. This generates 100 science every month. I want a bunch of these in space. As for future research projects, I do have this, the Greater United North America. Means I also get claims on essentially Mexico and everything south of Mexico. It's just, I'm not really sure if that is going to be very much in line with my strategy at this point. So for now, I'm not going to do it. I can, however, try and get the Central American Confederation. Guatemala gains a claim on Panama, San Jose, Managua, San Salvador, and Tegucigalpa. So let's do this one first, because if I am in control of Guatemala, which I believe I am, then I can start using that as a base of operations. I can launch an attack using my military in the US. And I can start to claim the rest of the area here. It is far cheaper to do it this way, rather than to go with that $35,000 or 35,000 research project point project that I still need to do. Anyway, when it comes to my research, I do want to stick to the bonuses that I have. I'm not sure if this module that I have is strictly required to be in orbit of Earth. If it is not, then something like Mercury might be a really good position, because the solar array here generates 280 power. So with that, and the research campus there, yeah, it doesn't need to be built in orbit of Earth. There, that's perfect. Okay, so seeing as this one, I believe, has a nano factory, I hope it does, I want to build another station in orbit of Mercury. Can I do that cheaply? No. Shit. It's going to take me 200 days and it's going to come from Earth. Okay, if I want to do that, I'm going to need a construction bay here. So either it's going to be a nano factory, which is going to take how long? 270 days. Ugh. Or if I want to go with the construction module, 180. It doesn't really matter then. It doesn't really matter. Let's just put another science station orbit here. Low Mercury orbit. It's going to take me 207 days. So that's about 9 months. It's not ideal, but so be it. I want to build 2 of them. Low Mercury orbit, 2 of them. Okay. Let's start going for expanding these facilities. So, these things take 30 power each. So that's 30, 60. Whoops. Where are you? 90 power. 120. 180. Oh, sorry, 150. Now 180. I can power that with 1 solar array. There. I also want to have a farm to reduce the drain, if you will, on the resources. They do cost me some money a month, but seeing as I now also have the availability of the space, what was it, the orbital hospital, I should be able to offset those costs on Earth. Make sure this thing has some defenses, and yeah, I'll take a few more. This is going to get fairly expensive if I leave these things running without having a counterbalance, if you will. A counterbalance in orbit of Earth. So let's go back to Earth, because my moneymaker should be operational fairly shortly. The thing is, this used to work with the nanofactories. Speed construction. Yeah, they changed it. Oh, crap. I was worried about this. This used to be a pretty hefty amount of income bonus. But that's no longer true. Because the nanofactories just give you an economy boost now on Earth. And I thought that was just another side effect, but it is not. So I'm going to have to replace these with the orbital hospitals. Otherwise, it does not quite work as well as I would like. Because this generates money. And science. A little bit of life science. So we're going to have to replace a bunch of these. It's going to take me... Yeah, I know. It's going to take me 90 days. It's not ideal, but okay, live and learn. So more space hospitals. 1 space hospital offsets a research campus and then some. So replace that. Yeah, basically just replace all of them. Hospital, hospital, done. Okay. Not ideal. I should have done this in a different order, but so be it. I can, however, launch another one. So we're going to found another orbital, again, in interface orbit of Earth. Otherwise, they cannot get to the hospital. And I have seen somebody refer to these as euthanasia stations. Don't laugh. No, do. I thought it was a really good joke. Because they tend to get blown up every once in a while by the aliens. If you've pissed them off enough, they're going to come after your stations. So they called it an orbital euthanasia station because you never quite know if you're going to get to hospital and make it back down. So I fully understand what they mean when they say it's a euthanasia station. It might be a one-way trip. One-way trip to the space hospital and, well, good luck getting back down. Alright, so that should be fine. And as for Earth, I want to start working on that Guatemala project. And I want to start taking stuff from Guatemala. Well, using Guatemala. So in order to do that, best make sure that everything is aligned. These guys, relations, allies with the US, yes, perfect. I do believe I can also tie them in Spain. I cannot tie them in Slovakia. I'm not sure why, maybe because I'm part of the Federation. That's probably why. Okay, let's do the research and potentially start grabbing some more terrain here. Oh, I finally got my first research, my first control point. That is fantastic. I didn't have a lot of odds getting that done, so I'm really happy that I got this one done. It also means that the resistance is probably going to hate my guts, because this is their big station. Wow. The European Union just decided to rival absolutely everybody. Relations. Yeah, we're in conflict. They don't hate me yet, so it's not war. But they're not strictly happy about what I just pulled on them.
Where do you need me?
Valerie. Defend my control point in the
Protecting
EU.
our interests.
Aluna.
What's the op?
Oh, Grace, by the way, is still sweet-talking the rest of the EU. And with this control point, it's going to be even more effective. You get a bonus to public campaign missions.
Ready for my mission.
Whether Aluna can purge another one? Oof. Well, I get a fairly hefty amount of influence income, so yeah, I can gamble a few times.
Reporting in.
As for Majid, I don't really think I have anything else. Well, we do need to defend Guatemala, of course. If I want to use this as a base of operations, we're going to need to defend Guatemala. Carry on. Here we are. Project complete. Central American Confederation. So with this, I can get claims on Panama, San Jose, Managua, San Salvador, and Tegucigalpa. Excellent, excellent. As for common cause, cooldowns, improving relations between nations are used or reduced by 20%. That's very useful. So let's research that next. So, I have claims. That is interesting. I have claims on Belize, which is right next door, currently held by the Protectorate. I also have a claim on Honduras. I have a claim on, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Panama, which I already hold half of. So let's start putting some things in motion. I want to start turning Honduras into a rival, and same for the rest of the area here. So this is not even held. Wow. Okay.
Wrapping up.
Yeah. That's unexpected. This is being held, so we're going to set Nicaragua under the control of the initiative as a hostile power. There. What? We must not be allies. What do you mean? We're not allies. What? Guatemala has at least 3 control points. No. Not currently, anyway. Okay, we're going to change plans. I'm first going to capture Honduras. Then I'm going to absorb Honduras into Guatemala. That does mean that I should have a larger Guatemala and pass the check on Nicaragua. And then we're going to move on to Costa Rica. So I'm not sure if I can change the situation with Costa Rica. No. No. Guatemala has at least 3 control points. I don't have that. And I'm not adjacent. So we're going to have to make sure that these guys become adjacent. Give me a minute. As I'm putting stuff in place around Guatemala, Honduras, and the rest of Middle America, things in Europe are turning very interesting. I am now in full control of the European Union. Immediately, I'm going to reinforce all of these control points and make sure that they cannot be taken back by the resistance. At the same time, I'm going to end all of these wars. I don't want the EU fighting everybody. So we're going to bring all of these factions, or all of these armies, home to make sure that I get my control points back. Fortunately, most of them are home, and now that I also will get control over Spain soon, I should be able to start integrating all of these factions into one big Europe. So what do we do with it? Well, I don't need boost, that's for sure. Mission control is nice to have. For now, I have 126 because I just took the whole of the EU. So I don't need to have that much on mission control. Building armies and navies is something I'm not going to have them do. I don't really care that much about that. I just want them to be my research place, if you will. My research and development division. 135 from the EU. Currently 674 from the US. So the EU does have quite a bit of catching up to do, but then again, the GDP is currently only 5 billion. Sorry, 5,000 billion. This is 20,000 billion, so 20 trillion. This is only 5 trillion, which is fairly low, and it's not going that well. So what do I want to do with these guys? I want to focus on knowledge Welfare, I think, is alright. It's not that bad. And yeah, this should be fine. Just focus on pumping much, much more stuff out of the European Union. I do believe the EU also gives me quite a bit of money per month. And let's see, are my hospitals ready yet? Because I did set to work on the moneymakers, but I think they're not quite there yet. No, June. Oh, that's actually in this this time span, if you will. So that should really crank up the amount of money I'm getting. Very nice. Alright, proceed. Okay, good. That's another plus 10 control points. Let's see, what's next? More research, ideally. There's the Energy Research Center, which is going to give me 10 science and 10% energy science. That's quite high. I'm also thinking of the Materials Research Center because it gives me more military and 6% bonus to our investments in military. I think this is, in the short run, more valuable. Simply because at some point the aliens will land and I need to have the US ready for that. I need to have a lot of firepower from the US. If I don't have that, well, it's going to be a little bit more challenging. Let's put it that way. Carry on.
Public opinion is moving in our
As for the situation here, in Honduras, I just captured it. I sadly cannot quite go to war with these guys yet, I believe. Well, maybe with El Salvador. No, never mind. Because the situation is still as it was before. No, sorry, I can. I can. Okay, perfect. We're gonna go to war with El Salvador. Why? Because I want to make sure Honduras grows bigger. Why? I don't know. Everybody needs a hobby. That's fine. Seek peace with everybody. Repeat the mission, please, Aluna. Yes, that's fine. That's done. Cool. Carry on. There. The space hospitals are now ready, and that boosts my income substantially. I'm only getting minus 21 from Habs, so it is getting somewhat offset. There we go. That's the orbital core. That's the whole hospital online right now. That's that new station that I built. The Georgy Ivanov station. I still have to rename that. For now, though, I'm very interested in going to war because I already have 2 of the US armies in position. So all I need to do is kick the Hornets. And unleash the dogs of war. It's just not their dogs, it's the American dogs. The American tanks. Eagerly awaiting the command to go on the offensive. Alright, let's get that done. And let's very quickly capture El Salvador. And start building out more and more of a power group over there. Well, power group is an interesting term. For now, it'll probably not be doing that much useful stuff. I'm trying to build a spaceflight program. No, I'm supposed to have an army. I'm supposed to have an army, otherwise Guatemala itself cannot declare war, I believe. Or at least not against some of these factions. Right. Next research project. What was that deep space telescope thing? +5, +10. Space science. How much space science am I getting as a bonus? 35. Not that bad. Materials is okay. Yeah, we're doing quite okay on everything, so this is not really a priority. I think slowly but steadily I'm going to have to look into my abilities of building ships. Because at some point I'm going to have to shoot down an alien ship, and it's getting a bit busy in Earth orbit at the moment. Yeah, I cannot declare war because I don't have at least one army. Fine. Is it possible for me to just buy an army? Is that affordable? Because I need 40 points. Haha. No, not affordable. Okay, well, that's something that's gonna have to get transferred over to the next episode. For now, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon for, well, I'll see you in a week for the next episode. Thanks for watching, guys. See you then.